Morning, good afternoon, good evening, my friends. Welcome to market here at SpartanTrading.com. Welcome to those of you joining us on our live YouTube stream. This is what we do Monday through Friday in this room. Going over all the different macro events overnight, etc., charts, technicals, what I think is interesting in terms of best bang for your buck, where to put your money, etc. And then looking at some interesting digits. I love stats. Okay, so what do we got? Overnight. Well, we had all these Fed heads talking, whatever. Everybody's drawn to the whole debt ceiling thing. Look, they're gonna blink. I don't know what it's gonna look like to blink, but they're gonna blink. They're gonna find some way that both sides can say, yay, we did our jobs. Right now, they're not doing their jobs. They have to do their jobs because sometimes you just have to, swallow it and move forward. Now, some interesting stuff coming out of China, right? This was notable. Foreign direct investments was down, and this is what they hang their head on. So I have to keep an eye on that. Out of Australia, the price index was a little bit hotter year over year, but quarter over quarter was right as expected. And you can see here there was a build versus a draw, but oil's up. We'll talk about my boil. I'm still 2.5 to 1. I'm not going to get any bigger than that. Okay. On a spread against the KOLT. We'll talk about that as well. That's been a great trade for those of you who follow me on that. Current registration is soft. Inflation rate, this is the final one, so one would expect a little bit softer here, right? Some talking heads over there. CPI final, a little bit lower. Core inflation rate as expected. These are all final stuff, right? Panetta speaking. So they have their own little version of our little Fed head, right? They did some auctions there. The blunt auction for the 10-year, 231 versus 251. You can see here it's coming down as well. Bank of England Bailey spoke. And then you can see here some more auctions. And then here we have the 30-year mortgage rate. Now, don't forget this spread is redunculous. Okay, and this is kind of usurious. And I'm really shocked that no one has said anything in Congress about this. This is a record spread in terms of mortgages, the rate versus the 30-year versus the funding versus the actual mortgage rate. Okay, so that's kind of interesting. Mortgage application, boop, down. So we're setting up right now a huge, I don't know who's going to be right, but really crazy ass potential here, explosive potential with this supposedly quote unquote the smartest guys in the room, which are the bond guys in theory, versus everybody else right now, because the stock, well, even then it's kind of crazy. We live in wondrous times. Yeah, not a lot coming out, housing starts, etc. Right? And then we have some more ECB heads talking. And then we have the EIA coming out. So not a lot today. Kind of soft. All right, Target. Their guidance was light. I mean, they beat, but their guidance was light, and I think that's notable. I think this whole narrative that this discussion with Wix is kind of fascinating, and I think they may take it private. I'm long the equity. Well, it was an A++ setting for me. But it should kind of make sense to everybody why I would be long the equity, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. And then this afternoon, this stone's going to be interesting, boot burn, right? All right, so what do we got? Things are slowing down. So Walmart, right? Canadian Solar. I saw some interesting sweeps on that. Bath and Body Works and, Baba. Delicious. What do we got? So Wix guided higher, right? This is a good company, this Wix. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if the rumors of going private are correct. We'll see. But anyways, TGX, It did come out. There we go. Light on the top, beat on the bottom. That's this is, and here same thing with TJX. This is kind of important, this TJX, just in terms of underworkings, the market, well, the economy, right? Yeah. All right, let's move on. This is one of those things that you say, how? Why? I mean, this is, they had to redo it because it was so, because of COVID, it was statistically totally inaccurate. So they had to change the variables inside it. Okay, you've got, these are supposedly smart peeps, right? Forecast is down here, and the Fed GDP now estimate is here. Now, I mean, Twins and I have been opining about this. Where the hell's the recession? I mean, you got strong growth, wage growth, right? I mean, you don't have any unemployment signs yet, right? Really going crazy. There's jobs available if you want. I mean, may not. There was I don't know if you saw yesterday, it was an interesting article on the white collar workers versus blue collar. That there's more opportunity now for blue collar, quote unquote, workers. I mean, Twins also mentioned that he had an auto repair shop. The guy's making $250,000. I mean, seriously, why not? I mean, what's the big deal? It's these helicopter parents that basically made everything shift in the school systems, assuming that for those students who are going to college, but the vast majority don't go to college. Okay, where's for them? Anyways, that's what I'm talking about. What do we got? The share of job seekers relocating for new is at a record low. Record low. Record. I don't know what to tell you. There's definitely, you know, that we go through, there's a cycle, right? And I'm suspecting that this is like a 50-year cycle, maybe less than that, maybe 30, 40-year cycle. But I like to think in big numbers, right? Things are happening that we just can't explain. I mean, you just can't explain some of this stuff. Okay, so the debt ceiling crashed interest rates in 2011. Okay, let's see. This gets to the smartest guys in the room. Now, look, there's no doubt, and we see it every single day in Twins comments every single day. I mean, I'm looking, I mean, we have the semis rally. I want more breath, but there is no doubt, okay? There is no way, this is a factual, that these guys, gals are way behind the curve in terms of performance. And they, remember in October, the dump, all these institutions just said no mas, right? And now, I mean, they're grudgingly kicking and screaming, so damn, I gotta add more here. Oh, I gotta add more here, right? So up as a space for poor sales. So, okay, so let's talk about this. We know, okay, that because of what happened with these regional banks, and a lot of the money went from regional banks into these small businesses. Money's tight for small businesses, okay? And if you have to borrow, good luck, okay? I mean, that's where we are in this lending cycle. And I don't think anyone can debate this. And now let's see what happens in terms of sales. So it's like, I don't know how this plays out, but the mom and pop stores, you're seeing less and less of them exist. Okay, unless they're really, really good at what they do. And they have a niche that people want, right? So, you know, $1 trillion milestone in sight. Yay! Medicare spending is the biggest obstacle on a balance, but the trick is slowing expenditures without reducing quality. Look, I'm on Medicare. Okay, I'm not ashamed to say this. I'm on Medicare. Okay, and I think they give too much away. I don't pay that much for stuff. I pay less now than I was paying when I wasn't on Medicare. So I don't know what to tell you. I just don't know what to tell you. So there, I think this has to be fixed. Okay, and I don't know how it gets fixed, but there has to be something that has to happen. Now, I mean, look, don't forget, I mean, if you're permanently disabled or whatever, you don't pay anything for your drugs. Okay, my sons don't pay anything for their drugs. Okay, so I mean, I don't know. UBS says it was Russian time. Well, okay, UBS, let me talk to you. Okay, when the government tells you to do it, you really gonna say. So what they're saying is they probably overpaid. That's what they're really saying. It's like, yeah, I think we overpaid. Okay, I don't know. Look, there's an anthropological tenet. Okay, what the first generation chooses to remember, the second generation chooses to forget. What the second generation chooses to forget, the third generation chooses to remember. So it's like a cycle, okay, that goes back. But I have to tell you, I am shocked at the lack of knowledge, historical knowledge of the millennials at all, okay, and down below, Gen Z, X, Y, I don't know what you want to call them. The lack of historical knowledge, okay, is shocking to me, because how are you going to know if you don't understand what happened in the past, how to respond in the present and future? So, I don't know. I'm still surprised they don't teach writing anymore in school. My jaw dropped on that. Some people don't know how to write their name, how to read script. European Banking Authority discussed measures to boost the AT1 market and discussed ideas such as a ban on banks paying dividends. Well, that's nice to know. Daily staff negotiations, you know, whatever. Tick, 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 times are breaking. Okay, so someone spitting Musk's bean curd. He and Soros are going after him. Dude, I'm just saying. You've had it easy for a long time. Now you're kind of finding out what reality looks like. Okay, your stock's down a lot, right? That's on you. That Twitter fandango. He thought he was invincible. His net worth is not looking too good. I don't have any problem with that. Whatever. Okay, here we go. Let's do it. Okay. This is fund manager survey. This is insanity. Twins, do you see this? So FMS investors, okay, net percentage. I don't understand this. This is such a disconnect. And this absolutely allows a blow off top, because these guys are the FOMO. Okay, it's not there yet. You can see it's not there yet. I mean, it's FOMO. Yeah, I know. I love Wix. I don't know. Yeah, I saw that with AMAM. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know what to tell you here. How is this possible? Commercial real estate, the most likely source of credit event. Yeah, no. Sovereign debt, China, shadow banking. Okay, let's be real. In the United States, there are bad actors, okay? And a lot of this, I know a lot of you basically believe in deregulation, but the reality is, if you take off guardrails, okay, on stuff, okay, i.e. Frank Dodd, okay, and everybody voted for this, Republicans, Democrats, allow this to happen. If you take off guardrails, people abuse the system. Period, exclamation point. Okay, shadow banking, commercial real estate. What could go wrong with this? Now, this is both the EU too. What could go wrong with this? Okay, so Trini, let's come up with some numbers here for our friends. Some put ideas. I'm just saying, this is how I get my ideas. This feeds my brain. Confidence on debt ceiling resolution. Well, how can you not? The alternative, right? May survey turns more pessimistic. Once again, how is this possible? Okay, ta-da! Look who's on the bottom. Tesla. So is that too bad? No. Okay, you brought this on yourself, like I said. Whatever, too bad. But here we go. Percentage of members. I mean, look, I've never seen a rally to this degree. This is epic, right? And I show you every single day that this is historically, I mean, you can count on two hands the amount of times this has happened in terms of lack of breadth in the market. I really wanted to spread out. So the first thing is we're starting to see it on the semi side. Okay, so that's a good thing. All right, so here's a bear saying, okay, here, right, whatever. Looking for a top, whatever. Saying we're going down, whatever. Don't forget, the sell-offs are very shallow, which is incredibly bullish. Dude, I see you. I don't agree with you. Okay, this is it. The vast majority of stuff is manufactured solar. I've talked to you about this. I mean, the vast majority, 96% of the parts for solar comes out of China. Electric vehicles, fuel cell, all this stuff, it all comes out of China. How does that change? I don't know. How much oil do electric vehicles save? Okay. So as you can see here, 1.1 million, right? 2 to 3 wheelers. Can't make this 2 to 3 wheelers. I can't make this up. Okay, then we have buses, right? Then we have trucks, and then we have passenger vehicles. So 2 to 3 wheelers and passenger vehicles. Ta-da! Isn't that cool? I think it's cool. Cross-asset global funds, cumulative 1 month rolling by asset class. Money markets still, equity. Look at this. There is so much cash on the sidelines right now, a wall of worry. Okay, so we know when this FOMO happens, we got to start peeling back our positions, right? I'm just saying we got to start peeling it back, right? It's crazy. Right? All right, moving on. Target issue soft earnings, we know that. Well, it's more the guidance, right? OpenAI calls for regulation. So the guy who was before the Congress yesterday, AI guy, he was actually very thoughtful, and I thought it was really interesting because, look, there's PhDs in ethics when it comes to medicine. There's going to be PhDs in ethics when it comes to AI, right? This is going to happen. Look, I always that little voice in your head, the moral and ethical voice in your head, and said, but why not? I mean, it's the right thing. Things can go bad. There's no, and he said, if they go bad, they're really going to go bad. But if they go right, they're really going to go right. So we know already, right, that Amazon is using AI in terms of deliveries. Okay, so we know what this looks like, and CPL just popped up. Not like that. Okay. So anyways, Blackstone sell 33 million lines of shares within the Tesla meeting, and then takes rough money. Fucks up for coming. And he's now going to advertise. He said he never would, right? All right, so here's Broadcom with VMware. Unveils AI-led solutions to speed up drug discovery. This is the positive, guys. There's always going to be negative, but there's also going to be the amazing stuff, or the positivity is just going to be breathtaking. Sales slump after COVID fueled housing boom. Taco Bell petitions end of Taco John's trademark of Taco Tuesday. I have no idea what that means. Okay. All right. This is real. Let's do it. Right. It's about time, you guys, I'll pay a fee for you. Monopoly concerns push FTC to sue to block. I don't like this FTC, but I'll be honest with you, I don't like most FTC because their interference in things is really notable. Just saying, their interference in things is really notable. Just putting out there. Right. Americans curb their home improvement spending. We know. House Democrats aim to force a debt ceiling vote, and we know. Netflix is pitching to advertise from a smaller base. I can't really. I'll have to say that Netflix has been dead money. I'm kind of surprised by that, but I'm starting to do. I'm going to start doing the 2025 stuff on Netflix. I've already rolled out Meta to June 2025, and I discussed that yesterday. Anybody who wants to know some of the stuff I'm doing, just DM me and I'll give you my honey-do list. So I've got Meta and Google out to June 2025 now. That's why I pay. Okay. Compete in Russia. Yeah, okay. Richest economy is open to foreign workers. Up to, okay. Step FCC moved. I want to shower after reading about this stuff. Will Apple's headset remake the market? I guess this is what the technology they're talking about that's coming out, right? Is this? Maybe that's what they're talking about, the game changer. Oh. All right, so IBM, Intuit, and Qualcomm. Look at this, how they use it. And then Dollar General. So these guys have got to get off their ass and start doing it, right? Here we go. Yahoo! Creating a Wild West for entertainers. Music. I don't know what that means, but I do know that's the bad things going on right now. Tesla shareholder meeting. Strobel elected to board. Musk reiterates production Cybertrucks coming this year. I don't know, dude. I don't know. Okay, so here we go. Smackdown time. Invested George dumps. This is enrages Musk. I love it on Twitter. Hates humanity. I do, to calm it down. This is the pentultimate disconnect. I have absolutely no idea when every single person from the Fed is saying the same thing, that they're not lowering rates by the end of this year. And yet, here we are. I don't know what to tell you. All right. This is what happens when you have a really thin market. It doesn't take a lot to get it down. I mean, this is crazy town. All right, this, okay, was, look at this. This hedge that went on. That's a huge hedge. Obviously a big position, right? And that created that. If this wasn't here, this would have been up like 80%. But you have to, like I say, look at the flows. It's so light. It doesn't take much to move this market. That's, and I'll be honest with you, going into OpEx, I don't know what to tell you. Not much going on here. This EWBC, but it's since March, so I'm not impressed with that. But this WFTC is kind of interesting. Yeah, but that's since February. So a lot of stuff mainly tied to grants, options, yada, yada, yada. Hyatt Hotels, Seaman Mercs, 684,000. I don't care, Fog, obviously, 25.5 million run. That was options, yada, yada. Okay, what do we got? Okay, so APG, NSC, OD. I like this actually, the freight lines, right? I'm in Louisiana Pacific right now, but I don't know the rails, but okay, calm down now. It's only 66%. All right, 10%. Why do people follow 10% success analysts? Do they not know what's going on right now? I'm just trying to figure this out. Will someone please explain it to me? I mean, I'm serious here. I don't get it. Anyways. Downgrades. CWON, 13%. Michael from Janney Montgomery, Biden neutral, so nothing there. I hate it when they raise prices too. So much wrong with the world. Okay. EVGO, stifles, 58%. Here's another one, BLF. I'm sure this is going to move big time, Piper Sandler, but the guy's only 14%. Anyways, all right, so we got some new stuff going on the seasonality side. MSCI now, Cadence, and Visa still continues. Now we're into the heavy part, 100%, okay? Tesla still is in strong seasonality. I'm long it. I mean, because of seasonality, right? UNH is starting to enter as well. The bios are still in it. Salesforce, I'm in this one. And the reason why, how can you not be in it? Because it goes all the way out to November. Seriously, okay? Monster Beverage, I'm out of that right now, but I might get back into it. Boeing, I know I saw that not taking delivery. I don't know. Okay, here we go. Now this is Latin America. Now, I haven't done Brazil yet, but I may do Brazil. I like to do Brazil, EWZ, but I'll probably do that with options. Okay, but this is an investment for me, EWW Mexico. Okay, this is one of the strongest ones you can see. It's a 10. Okay, Peru is working its way up there. Right. So I kind of like this right now. I feel really comfortable with this. And you can see here, going out 6 months, 21%. So there is statistical, okay, backing of that. So I'm just talking out loud. This is what has me. Use nothing. It's working here. I mean, how does this happen? And this is all resetting as well. I mean, look at this. What does this mean? We're going higher. As Mark Twain, you know, said, I mean, the news of my death is, you know, it's just crazy. And it's important. All right, let's take a peek here. I don't want to look at this. This is, I mean, this goes back to 1790. Okay, this is more than we had in World War II. Okay, now, as you can see here, this is what the Fed's been doing right on the balance sheet side. Okay, this is, guess what? This is the dot-com bubble. It started at the dot-com bubble, and then it really started at the financial crisis. So when you think about it, since the 2000, this is what it looks like. And guess what? This is both Democratic and Republican cycles, government cycles, election cycles. Okay, so everybody's to blame on this one. Okay, how did we get here? Because everybody's to blame on this one. Okay. So the yield curve steepening, now it is, I'm sorry, inverting. We've had a hell of a rally. So this does not surprise me at all. Okay. So you can see here the front end 2, 5s, and 10s. I'm in 7 to 10s, okay, as well as 20s. And I'm in 2s and 5s as well. Okay. So I'm pretty much all over, but my weighting is all the way up to the 10-year. Okay. And I do have a little bit of 20-year, but that's about it. Okay. Yields are down across the board in Germany, Europe, and Hong Kong, but Australia's up in Japan. Okay, that's unusual. I don't know what happened here. All right, here we go. Irregardless, okay, and I continue to say this, it's GDP is a function of productivity, right? If we can continue to sustain a high productivity, let's see if I have one. Okay. No. Productivity, okay. Business labor costs. I will do manufacturing, here's US productivity, okay? All right, So you can see here that we're pulling this down. This is the big overhang right now. Okay, it's productivity. It's sustainable as long as you have productivity. Okay, it's starting to come down. That's a big deal. Okay, and this has gone since 1950s. This is the first decline in productivity of any consequence since 1950. You're talking a lot of years, 70 plus years. That's a big deal. Okay. Let's take a look at it if I can go farther back on annual 12 months. No, it only goes back to 1951. First time. Okay. That's the problem in terms of sustainability. Okay. What do we got? Here's a 10-3. Okay. You want to play? You're going to pay. And anyone who's been in this market a long time can say, I've never seen this volatility range day to day, ever, for the past year plus, ever. Okay, ever. Here's the 2-5, very stable, but you can see this is actually starting to invert a little bit, going back down there. Here's the 10-5. This is interesting, right? It's still holding this. We have to keep an eye on this, obviously, if we start to break down on that one. So, you know, it's holding, but I wanted it to curl up, but it looks like it might break down. So that's going to be a negative, right? So that's the 210. And we're seeing that already, right, with the 210. So the 2 is not down as much as the 10 is. So on the inversion side. So just let's just do this right now. Let's fix this. Okay. So let's just put a fib in here. Okay. So this really has to hold, friends. Okay, so we're at a key point here. All right, so this is the 35. And you can see, I mean, this has gone up almost 200%. If you're on the wrong side of the trade, crazy town, right? So anyways, it got rebuffed here, and you can see why it got rebuffed here. Now it's falling back below this, still in the upper quadrant. Okay, but keep an eye on that, obviously. China, rates are coming down. UK, we're in this upper quadrant here, and you can see that. This is for those of you who have been around a while, you know this is how I process in quadrants. Oh, today I'm going to do the art of delta stacking and also going out farther, how you have runs and stuff like that in a bull market like this. And well, it doesn't matter, bull bear, it doesn't matter. Okay, so that's going to be the webinar today, FYI, for those of you who are interested. So here's the German, right? I'm sorry, UK. And here's the UK 2.5 on the inversion as well. I mean, nowhere near as bad as it was here, like this financial crisis, right? So, Japan. I mean, just monthly. Right? Things are changing, but I don't know what to tell you on this one. There you go. You know, there's multi-year, talking almost decades. And here's the German rates, very stable. All right, let's talk about the dollar. Okay, so the dollar is knocking on this reversion to the mean here. So this is the mid and the Bollinger. This is 21. And this is the 20. And this up here is the 50-year man weekly. So we'll see. I don't know. I had the inclination down here and I wanted to buy, but I didn't. Hola, bien, ¿y tú? Oh, gracias. All right, so here we have, here's the Chinese, it's starting to soften. This is a big deal, okay? For foreign direct investments, this is telling us there's something wrong going on here, right? Cryptos, who cares? Just saying. All right, gold. Let's see what's going on here. All right, so this is probably 50-50 right now, but you see here, natty gas, crude, aluminum, so industrial metals are going up right now, right? Rice, I think agriculture is going to start to rally. This is when it normally rallies. Lumber just keeps on rallying here. Let's take a look at this. And this is kind of important too, because this is a leader, not a laggard, in terms of the economy as a whole. Okay. Okay. So they changed the contract, I guess. So triple bottom is a monthly. You can see it right here. Okay. There you go. So this will be interesting if this starts to rally, right? This is the metals and mining, still looking heavy here, but let me see. Okay, what do we got? Natty gas. Okay, so we got into this pivot, right? It failed. Okay. Here's Boyle. Okay. I don't think we're done. I still like this trade. I'm going to have a little bit of stop entries on KOLD, just to increase if I need to on the upside, the hedge, because right now I'm pretty weighted on the oil. It's been a great trade, but we have to start looking at that, right, friends? So I just want you to know about that. So crude, it's still holding up here. We still have a bottom here, a meaningful bottom here. Okay, risk reward is still on the long side with crude, but I buy SEO if we break below the 69.82. Actually, this would be the pivot right here. Yeah, see, right? So basically, this is the pivot right here at 69.66. Is that the low? 69.41. Okay. XLE, okay, so this is why when we do these pair trades, it's really important because you just do not know which end is going to work. So in this regard, I had some drip on, right? And I had some UCO on. And this has been really great working. But this is the danger when you're looking at these spreads, you must, okay, do both sides, okay? You must do both sides. Especially on the commodities, you must do both sides. Okay, I think we have a meaningful low though on XOM. I was looking at that. I did roll a little bit just in case, but we'll see how things play out here. Okay, FYI, right? It's really important. Right? Here's gold crude. Still holding okay in the sense that you can see this 1980. We're getting knock. I have to really get aggressive on my hedging with dust, okay, if we break that 1980, okay? No doubt about it, okay? And here you see gold is, see, right here. Now, don't forget this is a weekly. Let's see what the monthly, I mean, I might actually, this is a monthly, but irregardless, I have to do something at this 1980. It's a prudent thing to do. Okay. Stock futures. Bing, 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 bing. Check. Dow and the S&P. Da, 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 da. DAX is up. Everybody's up, except Russia. Who cares? Singapore's down a lot. Nifty, 50, all these Chinese, all these things. So, you know, we're seeing softening, right? And stocks. Okay.
Alrighty, Beth, ready to pop on one over here. Hey guys, morning, what's going on? So if you guys are new to chat, haven't already done so, make sure to click on that Discord link that's emailed to you. You know, pop in chat. It's gonna look something a little bit like this. First area to go to when you guys do come in, disclaimer section, click on that, give it a read, as well as go to the new to chat information section and scroll to the very, very top. Top of the section, you got a link to the disclaimer as well as this bolded risk reward section. Super important to understand both in regards to risk reward, most important ratio in trading, in my opinion. So make sure to go through it. And just from a mathematical standpoint, if you don't skew this ratio in your favor over the course of time, then it's very hard to make money in trading. So definitely worth going through. In that section, we got videos explaining how risk reward works. We got risk reward profiles in there, risk reward calculator. You can use a download and actually calculate risk reward on the go as you trade, you know, all this good stuff, and you know, you can help yourself to it. Continue to scroll down, summary of how this chat works, breaks all these channels work on the left-hand side, so you can probably navigate the chat through the day. Important to know where to be looking. Continue to scroll down, how to read alerts on the options and equity side, breaking down how to read alerts on both sides. Pretty straightforward in that regard. Below that, options rules that we like to use Monday to Thursday in regards to controlling risk, scaling in, scaling out, trading different price contracts. Ooh, let me just pop this out. Move all this stuff, guys. I just got in the way here. All righty, let's get back to that Discord. Like I said, options rules like use Monday to Thursday in regards to the options ideas there. SPX rules for those SPX ideas we use every single day, bolded. And then any small account less than 10K, breaking down. If you have a smaller account less than 10K, here's some rules, information, discipline that could potentially help you, in our opinion. We're checking out how to pick ideas from an from an options and equity perspective, which just breaks down how to overlay your own criteria on top of the ideas. So you're left with only things that do make sense. This is something that you all should be doing anyways, so regardless if you're here watching a scanner or whatever. And then lastly, in the high conviction small account trades area, we've been posting, I've been posting credit spreads every single day on the SPX, so they can just generate income that easily, you know, one trade a day would easily pay for whatever the room is every single month, right? So every trade's like usually around like $2 to $3, couple contracts, you do the math there. All right, let's take a look what we got going on today. Couple things we're looking at: Tesla keys, ARGX, NVIDIA wall, SMFL. Tesla gapping up slightly after the conference. Keys surpasses Q2 earnings and revenue estimates, gapping up on earnings. ARGX gains amid takeover interest from drug makers. I'm surprised this is gapping up after, you know, all these companies gap down after the takeover news, or that takeover was blocked yesterday. NVIDIA gapping up in sympathy with the SPY. Wall releases Q2 investors update, gapping up on that. Basically, they had you know, 2 billion more of deposits, and then SMFL gapping up on spec volume. All right, let's take a look at these names from a technical standpoint intraday. First two we're looking at today, guys, Tesla keys. Let's rip through these charts, my friends. So Tesla gapping up a little bit, not much, but a little. Pivot to the upside today, right here. Oof. I'm actually gonna go intraday. Let's see if we can find all levels. Zoom out a little bit. Should be fine. Yep, we're good. All right, pivot to the upside today can be right here. 170.58 level holds. We got room towards 174.84, 179.89. Unable to hold 163.28 to 156.43 on the downside, leading bullish. Future looking for a continuation push to the upside today if that pivot point is able to hold. That's Tesla. Let's take a look at keys. Let's get that 50 MA. Let's get into the gap area here. Should suffice. Okay. Should be good. We'll look at it on the daily just because it's gapping up. I can't see higher levels. So Pivot to the upside today, 150, 160, 158, sorry, 61. Pivot's able to hold. We got room for continuation, in my opinion, to the 163.85, 168.48, unable to hold 152.30, 146.53 downside, leading bullish. Neutral, looking for a continuation push to the upside today, if that pivot's able to stay intact, in my opinion there. All right, so that's Tesla, that's keys. Let's take a look at the next two. Screenshot these, move on. So decent looks. All right, ARGX NVIDIA. Let's see if our AMD idea goes 1,000% today. Could really do it. ARGX though, let's take a look. All time. We're all time highs. Very nice. Okay. Let's label all time highs. Let's get this last range high. Let's get that little area of support there. Now we get a Fibonacci extension tool. Let's rip some of these. That should be okay too. Let's see. All right. Pivot to the upside today, going to be that 410.01 level holds, 416.23, 423.47. If you break, that'll get more levels. Unable to hold, we got room back towards 405.21 to 399.93 on the downside. Overall, going to be leaning bullish, neutral, looking for a continuation push to the upside today. In my opinion, if that pivot point's able to hold. That's ARGX. Let's take a look at NVIDIA here. Which I do love the NVIDIA chart, guys. We'll see if we get breakout continuation today. We'll be going after this if it does, for sure. We're doing extremely well in these mega cap tech in the last 2 weeks, and I expect continuation. In my opinion. 294.19 pivot to the upside today. Level holds 298.60 to 301.71. Unable to hold, we look for a pullback towards last day's low, 288.12, 281.40, leaning bullish, neutral, looking for a continuation push higher today. Actually, just be leaning bullish, I guess, looking for a breakout and then a continuation push. Have a little bit more momentum than a neutral move. That's ARGX's NVIDIA. All right, let's take a look at Wall. Let's take a look at SMFL. Way too high on that one. I don't know why I did, but whatever. Okay. Wall's going to be a little bit tighter. 32.91 pivot, level holds 37.91, 42.06, unable to hold 28.48 to 24.81 downside. Going to be leaning bullish, looking for a grind higher. Bullish neutral, I guess, on this one. Not sure it's going to go past this next resistance point today, but we'll see. Range should be a little bit tighter. All right, let's take a look at this SMFL. Actually didn't look half bad off the lows. I know they did a little offering too after this little run, but that's surprisingly holding up. All right. This is probably a fair chart now. Pivot to the upside 316, level holds 419, 548, unable to hold 235. to 171 downside leaning bearish neutral. Looking for a pop and a fade off after this morning's open. All right, let's take a look at the SPY and the FANG. Okay. All right, so what's going on in the market, guys? Well, still stuck in this little range, but we do have a break of it. The uptrend and downtrend, right? So you have this really tight wedge. I think it's, yeah, well, I guess it reclaimed it. It's gonna break it today for sure, one way or the other, up or down. We'll see. I think I'm leaning more on the bullish side just because it's done such a good job holding up. 411.03 is going to be the pivot to the upside today. If that level breaks, we're going to have room into this level 413.73 to 416.09. Unable to hold, we're looking for a pullback towards 408.79, 407.43, and then so on and so forth to the downside. I'm leaning bullish neutral at the moment, looking for a push higher. We'll see if it's able to do so. Yesterday, it broke that uptrend to the downside, and it did sell off a little bit. Then it reclaimed it right after hours. So maybe is that a head fake? I don't know. We'll see. But to me, it seems a lot stronger than it is weak. I think it would have broken down already. Okay, that's a SPY. Let's take a look at Apple. So leading bullish neutral on SPY. Apple, low flag setup. I have a weak looking chart this morning. 172.01 pivot level holds, 173.88, 176.91, unable to hold 170.27, 168.34. I'm actually leaning a little bit bearish neutral on Apple. It hasn't been leading with the market, has not been trading in sympathy with the SPY. I think eventually it will. And once it does, that's when the market probably breaks out. But looks like it can grind lower, retest the short-term EMA support on the daily, which is not a huge deal. We'll hold. Let's take a look at Amazon. So Amazon range break on the daily, on the weekly. This is a beautiful chart. Yeah, it reminds me of what before Google broke out. 112.62 pivot level holds 115.18, 118.77, unable to hold 110.32 to 108.08 downside leaning bullish neutral, looking for a continuation push to the upside today. So we'll see what happens in that regard. That's Amazon. Let's take a look at Netflix. $331.76 pivot level holds 340. So yeah, 331.76 level holds 337.11, 342.19, unable to hold 326.09, 321.23. Going to be leading bullish neutral, looking for a push higher. Did retest the EMA support like we talked about yesterday. It's all going to be about whether or not that pivot point holds today for a bounce. So we'll see what happens in that regard. Netflix. Let's take a look at Meta. So you do have a nice flag on the daily on Meta, but it's pretty consolidated still. 240 pivot level holds 244.99, unable to hold 234. Sorry, yeah, 234.81, 231.22, leaning bullish, looking for a push higher. That's Meta. Let's take a look at Google. I freaking love Google. Also, we've been talking about this for 2 weeks. We've been doing well on it for 2 weeks. And pretty proud of it. It's really nice. Everyone's been on the same page. 119.97 pivot level holds 122.27, 125.37, unable to hold 118 to the 115.36, leaning bullish, looking for a continuation push higher today. Let's take a look at the VIX Qs IWM. Lovely chart. My opinion, I think it's got room. That 122.27 is a pretty large weekly range breakout area, FYI. Take a look at that daily chart. So worth noting that the big resistance. Let's take a look at the Qs. Sorry, VIX first. All right, VIX, a little bit of a curl off the lows. That's interesting. Pivot is going to be 1773 level holds 1812, 1861, unable to hold 17, 1634. Not leaning any particular direction, but of course, using it for direction of the market. Stick with the Qs. $328.74 pivot level holds 334.07, unable to hold 324.14 to 316.60. Leaning bullish on the Qs. Qs look fantastic compared to the SPY, as you guys know. Breaking to the upside, they're flagging out. But, you know, that's obviously a sign in the tech, which we've seen. Obviously, tech being very strong. That SPX, my friends. For 41.13 pivot to the downside today, levels unable to hold 49.99, 48.2 able to hold 41.29, 41.44 upside. Leaning bearish, looking for leaning bullish neutral, actually looking for a push higher. That's the pivot, 41.13. I want to see a level, that level hold and push to the top end of the range. See if we can break that level downtrend as well, just like the SPY. So that's SPY, FANG. Those are the individual names that we're looking at today, guys. Going to go ahead and pass it over to South Beach. I believe he's in today. Yeah. Will I type up the pre-market action plan, and we'll talk to you shortly. South Beach, if ready, she's all yours, my friend.
Okay, back live, guys. How are you? I don't know what Monday and Tuesday were like. I kind of am trying not to look at the market when I'm gone. I think that's healthy. I look at my charts on the SPYs and the Qs, and it looks like, you know, they're kind of healthy. I like the Qs more than the SPYs, which actually look a lot better. The Qs, which have failed right here, let's see. They failed last time it hit the 100-day on the weekly, and it hit it now. We'll see if it can get through. Don't know. But 10s through the 17 is pretty healthy. There's good support on the weekly. The daily chart looks incredible. So the Qs look very healthy to me. And the SPYs, you know, less so, because they haven't really moved in what? Since February, more or less. You had one down move and right back to the spot. You know, so, you know, and I mean, you can make the argument it's pretty flattish, you know, for a while now. It still can't get through that 100-day, 100-week, where it's failed 1, 2, 3 times. See if they can bust through this time. So technically the market looks okay. It's not, certainly not bearish. And we'll see if we can get through that 100-day. That's really the key, to me anyway. I look at the bond market, and that's been really quiet for a really extended period of time. All right, there's not a whole lot going on. The whole thing has been the same, more or less. We have a 210 spread of about what? It's been a half a point forever. Now it's like 40.43. The short end of the curve has been very strong. I guess a lot of it may have to do with this debt thing. But basically, the bond guys are saying rates are going to go down as we, move out. Okay, in the next 9, 12, whatever months, year and a half, whatever it's going to be, they see rates being cut, and that's basically the structure of the bond market and has been for a while. Okay, you look at the bond structure in London; it's just basically a super flat curve. There is inversion, but very, very low. Okay, it's just a really, really flat curve. And if you look at the Europeans, that's kind of sort of the same gig, right? A little bit of an inversion, but a very flat curve. They're living at lower rates than us. The Brits are living at higher rates than us, and that's basically the story with that. Okay, so rates are a little lower this morning, but they really don't tend to go anywhere, right? So they came down, they go up, they come down. We're waiting to see what happens in Washington, I assume. Commodity wise, oil has been pretty quiet as of late. It broke 80 and is hanging there. These charts, guys, the way I look at charts, look like absolute unadulterated garbage. All right, every oil stock looks like shit. 10 through the 17 on the daily, 10 through the 17 on the weekly, no EMA support, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So this market is telling you that a recession is coming for sure. All right, whether they're right or not, who knows? But I think the setup in these oil stocks, even though they traded a low PE and everybody loves them and yada, 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 the technicals on these are terrible. And at the end of the day, I don't give a shit what anybody says. I'll go with the technicals. All right, unless you're investing, in which case, do whatever the hell you want. So oil is unchanged, up what, a little bit now, 0.4. Natural gas has been in the shit house for a long time. A little bit of bounce off the bottom, big deal. Unless they can figure out a place to put natural gas, we got a problem. Now, supposedly that was in the bill. You remember when I left on Friday, I had big positions in EQT, RRC, and AR and whatnot. And they did have follow through, I saw on Monday when I came home last night and looked at the charts. Big follow through, actually. And I missed it. If I was going to be here Monday, I would have kept them, but I wasn't. So that's how it goes. And I have no regrets, to be honest with you. I don't really care. Commodity prices, agricultural commodities have been trending towards the low end of their range by and large, pretty much across the board, a couple of exceptions, but nothing that would really, nothing that really we're concerned about. Currency-wise, dollar's been a little stronger, right? Mixed against North America this morning, up against the yen. The Chinese currency is up to 7, which is where I think it was before this whole pandemic started, and I think that's where it's going to stay for a while. We'll see. And the euro has come in somewhat. It's down to 108, and the pound holding up a little better at 124. So that's that one. And crypto, I don't really give a shit, but I go over this every morning for those of you that do. Bitcoin's down 1%, Ethereum the same, Solana the same. And the foreign markets, what do we have? FTSE's dead flat. DAX, which is the best acting one in Europe and the EU, that's up a half a percent. Let's see what else we got. Nikkei was up 1%. China's dead flat. Hong Kong down 2%, and Taiwan up 1.6%. So maybe we'll have some strength in semiconductors this morning. All right. When I looked over the positions last night, I saw that these FANG stocks had a decent day. Right. I thought that was interesting. I really didn't look over on Monday night at all. Like I said, I try to get away, and the few times I don't trade, I try to not look, but sometimes I can't help myself. Let's see. So we had the China stock, a few China stocks were strong. FANG was pretty good, right? Home builders were good, and big oil, crappy. Gaming and retail were crappy. HMOs were crappy. Material stocks, etc. So that was yesterday. Okay, so what do we have now? We have the banks and Fed. We have So we have like Bostic spoke, okay, and he's basically saying the hard part is still ahead of us is if inflation is stubborn. So basically, you still have these Fed governors talking about inflation and higher rates and all this other bullshit. And then you got JP Morgan saying the market is right. A recession is basically a sure thing, and they're going to cut rates as soon as the third quarter. So it's the discrepancy, or the different way these guys are looking at this glass, right? Bostic, the Fed guys erring on the side of, we got to be diligent, higher rates, and the Wall Street guys basically saying, rates are going to come down, they're too high, the economy's kind of crappy and going to get worse and stuff like that. So we'll see who's right at the end of the day. I'll put my money on the Wall Street guys over the Fed guys every day. Okay. These Fed guys have got it wrong for what, 2 years? So why would they continue to get it right? They're not going to be right. They're going to be wrong. They're always wrong, it seems, this particular Fed. So that's that. So you got the banks and Fed, you got China, we'll get to in a second, Russia as well. Crypto, we discussed, Mr. Market, I talked about a minute ago. And what's working, I think mostly patience and picking this, the stocks that are doing well are the stocks that continue to do well. I'm noticing, and the stocks that are crappy continue to stay crappy, like the CVSs of the world. Okay. You got to, that's what I've been noticing a lot of. If you look at the stocks that have been crappy all day, the new low list, those are the ones that keep going down, and vice versa. All right. So that's how I'm playing it. All right. And I'm looking at the stocks that are strong and like the Googles of the world, stuff like that, and versus the stocks that are shitty. And there's no shortage of both. Okay. The stocks that are strong, probably there's less of them, but I don't know. That's what's working for me. Just stay with that trade. All right. What else we have? Debt ceiling. Supposedly they're making some headway. We've seen this a million times, not a million times, but probably 6 or 7 times. And they seem to always come to a deal at the end. One time I remember, if I remember correctly, they put a patch on it and gave themselves an extra 2 or 3 weeks to negotiate a deal. It kind of feels like, based on the timetable that they're feeding us, that might be the case again this time. We'll see. We'll see. They're both in different camps, clearly. They got to negotiate. That's the way it goes. Okay. When you don't own control 3 branches of government, you have to negotiate, whether you like it or not. And you can go kicking and screaming, but at the end of the day, you don't have much of a choice. Okay, so that's that. JP Morgan, like I said, looking for a US recession is a virtual certainty. Okay, Goldman and Morgan Stanley have scaling back their expansion plans and their profit goals in China. That's no surprise there. I don't know if you guys saw the Elon Musk interview. I looked at some of it last night when I got home. It was very interesting. Okay. Personal work habits, etc., like that. What he thinks he should be allowed to say and not. He says he should say whatever the hell he wants, and he doesn't care about the repercussions. Which, okay, that's how he feels. That's how he feels. The most interesting thing in that whole interview was, I think, the last question when Faber asked him, my son's graduating from college. What would you tell him? What fields to go in? Because it sounds like AI is going to control almost everything. And he thought for what felt like a weird amount of time. And he said, just follow his passion. So basically, he was kind of saying that AI is really problematic. He talked about AI quite a bit. He talked about his relationship with Larry Page that ended because of AI. All right. It was supposed to be open source. They made it closed source, et cetera, et cetera. And what did he call Elon? Something like, I'm trying to find the word. I wrote it down somewhere. Basically believing in people versus computers. Page wanted this digital God and et cetera, et cetera. So that relationship ended on this whole thing, and accused. Let me see if I can find it, because I thought it was really a speciesist. That's what Larry Page called Musk. Interesting, right? And then there was a guy on last week. I don't know if you saw this, but one of those guys who really brought AI to the forefront says there's a 50-50 likelihood that AI ends mankind as we know it. Interesting. All right, that's that. So that's way out in the future, hopefully. Crypto, Ripple bought somebody, who cares? Mortgage demand dipped on higher rates. Russia increasing the firepower, higher, stronger missiles, etc., like that. They hit some kind of Patriot system, and they're doubling down, basically. I thought when I looked over the buybacks and stuff, the 13Fs, the one that shocked me the most was Value Act buying Spotify. It really is not in their wheelhouse generally. And the stock has been fairly strong. They like to buy stocks that are kind of in the shit house. So I thought that was interesting. I saw that Buffett got rid of RH in total, added to Bank America, started COF, added to Para. I think he sold all his Para, quite frankly. We'll see in the next quarter. We won't know for now. Although we will know if he's exempt from this 13D rule, guys. You know that, right? He's had some kind of exemption. He doesn't have to tell you. What else did he sell? Bank of New York, Taiwan Semi. We knew he sold USB, and we knew there was a seller. The stock was like acting like death. He got out of all of that. I thought that was interesting too. So that's that. All right, individual names. What do we got? Target came in. It looks like it's the street likes it a little bit, up a little bit. Keys was good. EPOW, Jack in the Box was good. TJ Maxx vacillating between, but kind of unchanged after numbers, more or less. TGI was okay. DT, Wix, AEG, NXGN, and RSKP. Lyft has a new CEO. Toast had some insider buying, and to the extent of 12.5 million. WAL is lifting these regional banks a little bit. Their deposits grew by what, $2 billion. So a bunch of them are up on that. Zion's up, and you can see the list yourself, right? Win got an upgrade this morning. I'm a little worried about Win only because they're Macau centric, I guess. LVS is probably even more so, but Win is Macau centric, and I wouldn't trust that deal. So that stock, as much as I think it's a great stock, a great company, I think I would rather dance with someone else in the fear that maybe something happens there. But to each his own. It is cheap. What else we have? We got some momentum names: SMFL, JCSE, SVRE. RNA got a positive FDA partial lifting of clinical hold. Pump is doing a buyback, repurchase 100 million. Now it has a repurchase also. On the short side, you had Docs, WKME, KD, AGLS, EVG, a lot of offerings, guys, a lot of offerings. So you're going to be, if you see a stock perform really well and you see they need money, you got to look, okay? Because this morning there are what? So once these things start, they morph, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 secondaries this morning, and I think there's one more that needs to be priced, would be 8. Okay, so they're going to ram these secondaries down your throat. So just be aware of that. And when you take home positions, think about it a little bit. All right. Because that's clearly picked up quite a bit. Research wise, you know what I think. These guys are just a cancer. That being said, you should know what they say for the day. CRM got Bank America likes that. They raised the target to 250. There's a stock that's the kind of stock I like on the long side. It just keeps going higher, What else was there. Let's see. ONLN was downgraded to sell from somebody who I don't give a shit about. Not much research. Win was upgraded, which I told you, by Barclays. That's about it. Okay, so I'm probably going to start off a little slow, get a little bit feel for the market, and take it from there. Okay, that's it for me. Let's have a good day, guys. And Spartan, it's all yours.
Thank you, South Beach. Morning, guys. What's up? What's going on? So let's take a look at what we got going on today, guys. Couple different things. If you guys are new to chat and haven't already done so, make sure to click on that Discord link that's emailed to you. You're going to pop in a chat. Look at something a little bit like this. First area to go to when you guys do come in, disclaimer section, click on that, give it a read, as well as go to that new to chat information section, scroll to the top. Very top. Top of the section, you got a link to the disclaimer as well as bolded risk reward section. Super important to understand both in regards to risk reward, guys, most important ratio in trading. Click on it, go through it, understand it, in my opinion, before doing anything. You have the tools in there, videos, risk reward calculator you can use on the go, a lot of good stuff. Continue to scroll down. We have a summary of how this chat works, breaks all the channels work on the left-hand side, so you can properly navigate the chat throughout the day. Importance, you know where to be looking. Continue to scroll down. How to read alerts on the options and equity side, breaking down how to read alerts on both sides. Below that, options rules we would like to use Monday to Thursday in regards to controlling risk, scaling in, scaling out, trading different price contracts, etc., etc. SPX rules that we use every single day. Again, you can check those out as well. Below that, we have any with the small account less than 10K breaking down. If you do have a smaller account less than 10K, here's some rules, information, discipline you can put in place so you can better manage your account, in my opinion. How to pick ideas from an options or equity perspective below that as well. And then that's about it. Oh, and high conviction small account areas, we're putting credit spreads in there every single day, which have a high probability of working. And that's a good way to generate income, in my opinion. But it's up to you, of course, if you want to participate or not. Pre-market tickers on watch. What do we got going on today, guys? Everything's posted. If you guys are watching the YouTube stream, you can simply just pause it here, read it. There you go. There you go. And then on the option side, there you go. Okay. Pre-market tickers on watch, all the charts posted. Like I said, what are we looking at today? A couple things. Tesla, keys, ARGX, NVIDIA, wall, SMFL. So Tesla gapping up slightly after the conference, keys gapping up on earnings, ARGX gapping up amid takeover rumors, NVIDIA gapping up to typically the market, wall gapping up on their deposit balance updates, updated. Raised by they increased them by 2 billion, and then SMFL gapping up on spec volume. Let's take a look at these names from a technical standpoint intraday. First two we're looking at today, guys, Tesla and keys. So Tesla, guys, pivot to the upside today, going to be 170.58 level holds, 174.84, 179.89, unable to hold 163.28 to 156.43, downside leading bullish neutral here, looking for a continuation push higher. Keys 158.61, level holds 163.85, 168.48, unable to hold 152.30, 146.53, downside leading bullish neutral there. Let's take a look at ARGX and NVIDIA. NVIDIA, ARGX 410.01 pivot, level holds 416.23, 423.47, unable to hold 405.21, 399.93 downside, and leading bullish neutral there. NVIDIA pivot. Let's go inside the day. All right, NVIDIA pivot upside today, 294.19, level holds 298.60, 301.71, unable to hold 288.12, 381.40, leading bullish neutral there. Last but not least, guys, wall and SMFL. All right, wall pivot today. It's going to be 32.91, level holds 37.91, 42.06, unable to hold 28.48, 24.81, leaning bullish neutral. SMFL 316 pivot, level holds 419 to that 548, unable to hold 235, 171. Leaning bearish, looking for a pop topping of the gate. All right, let's take a look at the SPY and the FANG, my friends. Market SPY. So we're testing this. We're going to be testing this little wedge. It's really tight at the moment. We broke it yesterday. We reclaimed it. I'm bullish because of that. SPY 411.03 pivots to the upside today. Oops. This level holds room higher into the 413.73 resistance breaks. We see the 416.09 tested. Pivot unable to hold. from lower into the 408 79 area. Breaks, we see the 470 407.43 tested. Meaning leaning bullish, neutral. So I think you can, break out of this range, then we can grind higher. We'll see, how well it pushes, but I do like the look of it right now. I'm just gonna post that for you guys. They do everywhere. Every morning. Let's take a look at the rest of the thing. Okay. Apple guys pivot to the downside today, 172.01, unable to hold 170.27, 168.34, able to hold 173.8, 176.91, leading bearish neutral. Let's take a look at Amazon. Pivot to the upside today, going to be the 112.62 level holds, 115.18 to 118.77, unable to hold 110.32, 108.08, leading bullish neutral. Netflix pivot upside today. 331.76 level hold, 337.11, 342.19, unable to hold 326.09, 321.23 downside, leading bullish neutral there. Meta pivot is going to be 240 level holds, 244.99, unable to hold 234.81 to 231.22 downside, leading bullish neutral there. Google pivot to the upside today. Going to be 119.97 level holds, 122.27, 125.37, unable to hold 118, 115.36. Take a look at the VIX Qs IWM. DIX pivot is going to be 117.73 level, 17 to 73 level holds, 18.12, 18.61, unable to hold 17, 16.34 downside. Not leaning any particular direction there. QQQ pivot to the upside today, going to be 328.74 level holds, 234.07. Unable to hold 324.14, 316.60 downside, leading bullish neutral on that. And then SPX looking at the pivot at 411, 4113, level holds 4129, 4144, unable to hold 4099, 4082, leaning on the bullish neutral side there if the pivot point's able to hold up. So that's a SPY, that's a FANG. Those are the individual names that we're looking at today, guys. Should be an interesting one. We'll see what happens with the market. We'll see what happens with the big cap names again. I am liking the look of most big cap tech for continuation. I'll watch semiconductors.